Okay, this is going to be a rant video. I haven't made one in quite a while. And sorry if you don't like my cussing, it may come out. But this is a major rant video. First of all, let me say, this is the dumbest, stupidest, most idiotic, retarded generation of fucktard people I've ever had the displeasure of knowing in my entire life. Parents don't know how to be parents. Men have become feminized, and women have become masculine. We've got women in the pulpits and churches. We've got sissies preaching effeminate Christianity. Major heresies and apostasies and false teachers, false teachings are running rampant in the world nowadays. I have my faults. I sin. I try not to, and I hate sin, as we should. I don't like to call myself a Christian. I'm a messianic believer. I have a strong hatred for so-called Christian TV, for the most part, but I can maybe name a small few that I like, and I would say I like Irvin Baxter, End Time Ministries, Jonathan Bernis, and Rabbi Kurt Schneider, and that's about it. But I can't stand anybody else. No, I don't believe in once saved, always saved, or lordship salvation, nor do I believe in original sin or imputed righteousness. I don't believe in 95% of what is taught in the seminaries, or the mainstream churches or hardline denominations. It seems like you can't have fun anymore and enjoy life unless you get into sin and go party and do drugs and drink and have sex with numerous people. I mean, Christianity has become wimpy and sissified. Everything's backwards nowadays. Like I said, women are becoming masculine and men are becoming effeminate. I see it all the time. I don't really consider myself following any political agenda, but yes, Trump is trying to do the right thing. I hope somehow eventually he drains the swamp and builds the wall. And another thing I'm sick of is the whole racist thing. Racial tension, racial this, racist that. All the Hollywood pedophilia and homosexuality and immorality makes me sick to my stomach. Most of them in Hollywood are demonic shills. They hate God. I never could understand in a horror movie or some kind of thriller, especially the stuff about Satan and demons, they always show the Catholic Church coming to the rescue. And I hate the Catholic doctrine with a passion. But let me tell you something that most people don't know. The Catholic Church is the leading proponent in what is now coming the one world religious system. With all major Christian TV channels, all the televangelists are following suit to the mother whore of Babylon. There's so much garbage out there nowadays. People are superficial, they're trite, they don't know how to communicate. Nobody knows how to use a voice and look at people and talk. Heck, there's voice and video chat available, but nobody uses it. Even trying to go out and have a decent, good time has become a drudgery because of all the crap you see around when you're out. How embarrassing, socially embarrassing people are. I'm ashamed of this generation. This past 8 years, personally and worldwide, has been some of the worst years I've had to experience in a long time. And I have a hatred of pagan holidays like Halloween, Easter, and Christmas. All these stupid sayings about Christmas. Jesus is the reason for the season. That's just a rhyme people like to say because it sounds so cute to some. I have many reasons for hating Christmas the way I do, and some of it is personal. I mean, everything is so expensive to go out and eat. People aren't friendly. They have no love, no compassion, no empathy, no social niceties or social manners. This is the most embarrassing, stupidest, immoral, ignorant generation of people I've ever had the hot displeasure of knowing in my life. And I don't know if I really believe America's going to get any better or not. I'm sorry, I'm just disgusted with everything. But anyway, it's all I see is the bad. It's hard to see the good. And I'm sure it's out there, but it's hard to find, more so than ever. And without sounding totally negative, I'm sure there's still good out there. It's rare, but it's there. It's hard to find. Yet, like I said, it's still around. I miss the days when you could chase fireflies at night, honeysuckles around, stars in the skies, Saturday cartoons, sitting with friends and family, having a good time, having meals together, hot dogs or hamburgers and barbecue and maybe homemade ice cream, pies and cakes and all kinds of stuff. Friends cared, families cared about each other, neighbors looked out for each other. Actually, I really do feel sorry for this generation because they don't know what life is. I'm guilty of this too, as most of us are, living our lives online or our mobile phones. And honestly, I blame the mainstream Christian church for the problems in this country, for allowing pride to creep in and other things that God hates. I don't think I'm anybody special. I never have been, never will be, and never want to be. Don't care about being popular or loved by everybody. I think that's overrated. I think people are insecure of who they really are and they're afraid to be their true selves for fear of offending and upsetting others. Me, I don't care who I piss off, who I upset, or who I offend. I couldn't give two rat turds about who I piss off or offend. I've got more of a backbone than I ever had in my life. I like what I like. Enjoy, have passion for the things I enjoy. And on a good note, I'll share things that I enjoy. I like practicing my guitar, throwing darts, listening to music and watching movies and TV shows I enjoy that are not the norm nor mainstream. A lot of people, if they knew what I liked, they would say that I was a dark and depressing person. But I really don't want to come off that way. I am very empathetic. I'm sensitive. I care about others. I do cry easy when I see injustice and people hurt. I'd like to have another lady in my life. I have a daughter I haven't seen in almost, or heard from in almost 9 years. And I'm trying to be more compassionate and forgiving, and it's not always easy. I have to admit I do like weird music and obscure stuff, and that the mainstream establishment is afraid of. I don't like the term conspiracy theorist, but I consider myself a truther. I really don't like politics or politicians. I don't believe in the flat earth theory or I'm not, neither am I a King James onlyist, but I will admit that I hate the Message Bible and the NIV. And there's a lot of Bibles out there that are published by bad people, bad publishing companies like Zondervan and HarperCollins. If you really want to know the truth about how the world is, there was a movie made ahead of its time by John Carpenter called They Live, and I highly recommend it. And if you want a good book about the truth, I highly recommend the late Bill Cooper, the William Cooper's book called Behold a Pale Horse. I don't believe anything the mainstream media has said, ever. I don't think man walked on the moon. I don't think Oswald pulled the trigger and killed Kennedy. I think the Bushes had a hand in it. I despise the Bush family. and I don't care what anybody says. I do believe in the Trinity, even though it's not really mentioned in the Bible. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I believe in the birth, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, and he's seated at the right hand of the Father. And no, he's not going to come back anytime soon until more Bible prophecy is fulfilled. And I get disgusted and agitated when people date set for his return. I do remain ever so humble for God doing what he has for all of us, and things we take for granted. And I've learned the hard way to not take a lot of things we do take for granted, like having electricity, water, internet, food in our refrigerators and cabinets, a roof over our head, a warm bed to sleep in, clothes on our backs. And if it was in my means and I had the finances to do so, I would love to take people off the streets and get them clothes, get them groomed and cleaned up, and help them get jobs and a place to stay. And if people think I'm an asshole, I don't care. You know, that's you. But I'm not a racist at all. And I'm for immigration if you legally become an American citizen and obey our Constitution and our laws and rules. But if not, and you refuse, get out of our country. We don't want you. This past 8 years since I've been back here have been terrible. I've been in and out of mental hospitals because I have manic depression and bipolar 2 disorder. I've lost my left eye because of a cataract and corneal transplant both go wrong. Lost both parents. And I don't drive anymore, but that's okay. Even though this past several years have been terrible, I don't blame God. I'm not bitter at him or angry at him. And yes, sometimes I'll admit I have been mad at God. Who hasn't? But God's not to blame for our trials and tribulations. Sometimes things happen beyond our control. I forgot to mention other things I enjoy. I like animals. I like nature. I'd like to travel. And there's so many things I'd like to see in this world. The Redwood Forest. I want to go see a lot of waterfalls and some lighthouses and ride trains. And I think it would be fun to get into filmmaking. As a lot of you know, I have a lot of, I like Alfred Hitchcock, I like Stanley Kubrick, David Lynch, Martin Scorsese, Oliver Stone. I like the lady that made movie in the 40s, Maya Deren, or something like that. And John Parker, the only movie I know by him, I really like it, is called Daughter of Horror, or another title, Dementia. It's on YouTube. I highly recommend it if you really like bizarre and creepy movies like I do. Oh, I also like Dario Argento and John Carpenter. I could probably name a few more, but I can't remember right offhand. I know there are others. But anyway, I think I've said all I've wanted to for now. Thank you for watching, and God bless. Bye for now.